So we are back with Grimm. This is season 4. Where we left off in season 3, Nick had lost his powers and the captain had been shot and was going to die. We start out with just seeing the captain going into surgery. And I had just finished an episode of Grey's Anatomy when I started into this episode. And so I was like, hold on, did I click on the wrong thing? Because it just started up and immediately it was a doctor scene. And I was just like, hold on, wrong show. Nope, right show. Forgot. So overall, I would say this first episode, it's one of those two-parter ones where like the villain is going to the next episode. Pretty cool villain. But I don't know. This episode just felt like it went by so quickly and it was really short. I'm like, okay, hold on, am I done with this episode already? It's like, it was the same length as most episodes, but it was just like, it just felt like it went by way too quickly and nothing got accomplished in the episode. And so I went into the second episode and I'm like, okay, let's continue this. But just like, it felt weirdly short. But yeah, the villain in these two episodes, pretty cool. He's this octopus-like monster. And he just takes away people's memories, and then he's using it. He's like a spy who's hacking into government agencies and all. So, pretty cool villain. The last thing that was kind of cool in the first episode was the cliffhanger. You see Sean Renard, the captain, gets pronounced dead. He's dead now. And that's where you leave off the episodes. And then the next episode immediately starts with this woman just coming in and freezing time and then attaching a snake to him and her, and she drains her life force into him. Or something like that. It doesn't really ever get explained, but he comes back to life now. Then we figure out that woman was Sean Renard's mother. First time we ever get to meet her, and she's a pretty cool character. She's around for the next couple episodes, and it's fun to have a Hexen Beast around. Which, Hexen Beasts are normally the enemy. It's going to be really interesting this season. Not going to spoil too much throughout the until we get to it, but this season and how it twists Hexen Beasts and what are Hexen Beasts and all that good stuff. I really can't wait. I already finished the whole season before I'm starting these recordings, so it's still fresh in my head. Just finishing the finale. Wait and see, guys. As I talked about in last season, you have it so Wu is starting to pick up on something's not right here. Trouble, she was involved in a couple murders. Like, why is she now living with Nick and claiming to be a crime student? And so he's starting to be like, things are not adding up. These books I found in the room, this is weird. And so he's now investigating Trouble and all. You also see for the second episode, Nick just more and more like, I want my powers back. He's like, I'm not sure if I want my powers back. Maybe because like at the end of the finale of season 3, he's kind of like, okay, things are falling apart with Juliet. Maybe I can just give this up. So there's this question of him dealing with, do I want my powers back or not? And you also get to see Trouble throughout these episodes really step up and be the Grimm. She's the one hunting down the villain of the episode, the octopus head man. And so she gets caught by him, and he tries to take memories from her, only to find Grimm memories, and it basically fries his brain. So pretty interesting. We leave the episode with Wu confronting Nick about Trouble's connection with him. Right when Nick is trying to explain it, he gets this flash where he's in the mind of Adeline, and Adeline, who's now in prison with the Royal, is now put in the mind of him. Not showing that there's now this connection between Adeline and Nick because of what Adeline did. This goes throughout the whole series, which leads us into the next episode. The next episode just finishes off that scene, and at that point, Wu has just given up on what he wanted to talk about, and he's like, okay, let's get you to the hospital. Episode 3, this episode is dealing with a boxing ring. I'm not the biggest fan of boxing on those type of sports. In the same way, this is a pretty fun episode, and I love the twist at the end where you have it so you realize it's not the coach forcing the boy to fight, it's actually his mother who's the one behind all this. You also get to see Nick finally, it's like, okay, seeing that Trouble almost gets killed multiple times because of him not being a Grimm, he's like, I do want to be a Grimm again. We leave off this episode with the captain's mother helping Rosalie try to figure out how to get Nick's powers back. You end with just pulling out of the shop to see a couple of guys waiting in a car for them. And you figure out in the next episode what they're doing. So overall, I would say these episodes are pretty good. Not the greatest, but I don't know, outside the first episode feeling a little bit rushed. It's pretty good episode. It's a great start to the season. I love it. Despite not being able to see Nick as a Grimm, it's a pretty interesting episode. You get to see more Trouble being the Grimm. I don't know. They were pretty good episodes. I just felt like it went by a little. The first episode was a little bit too, nothing going on in it. Went by too quickly. But overall, these episodes are pretty fine. So, if you guys want to see when I put out my review for episodes 4 through 6, consider subscribing. Thank you guys for watching. This has been the Movie Net Reviewer, Peter Wary, signing off.